TechSupreme, SketchSawyer. Can you guys be heard by the chat?
All right.
It works this time.
I'm going full headphone mode for this one. Full headphone. I need to make sure I hear every word of this one because this finale was actually godlike. Yo, I want to say, I don't know how you was just in here having a discussion with us about that second to the last episode and not just fucking vomiting spoilers. I don't know how you was doing that.
Man, it was rough.
Thank you. I'll take a bow.
Just saying, it was a powerful thing. That episode was actually crazy. Sets up a lot, I feel like. And just for the record, man, so for people just now getting here, Marvel has already said that this is canon. So to some degree, this will affect the actual MCU, as well as like throughout the entire series. Just to give you like a kind of Easter egg synopsis, there was a lot of things revealed in this series that hasn't been revealed in the MCU. Stuff like, you know, there actually being an Uncle Ben, being more copies of Zola out there potentially in the world, stuff like that. It's all alluded to throughout the series, and I actually think it's really, really cool to see. But with that being said, Tech, Ben, how you guys doing, man? How you two doing?
I'm good, man. A little stressed.
Oh,
Going
man.
into a new place.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're in the new house, so I know it
Congrats.
doesn't sound any different, but I'm in the new office, so and yeah, life's slowly getting back to normal. But Tech was there to help with the move all day. We had a small army of people helping us get across town. So
I've never seen that many people help one person move, dude. That was awesome.
That's how you know you're a good person. When you got a bunch of people helping you move, you're like, bro, because I'm going to tell you right now, I would have showed up, okay? But I would have let you know immediately, like, I love you. I absolutely hate moving, but that's how you know we're friends. Let's move a refrigerator or two. If you had a fucking piano or something, I would have been tight the whole time, but I would have helped you, Ben. I want you to know that. I would have helped you.
I appreciate that.
What
about you, man? How's your week going?
There you go.
It's going good, man. I can't complain about anything right now. I'm feeling real positive, real optimistic. Mental health is good.
Okay.
Physical health is good. Eating clean. I ain't mad at nothing.
Okay.
There you go.
Business is good. Had a crazy meeting yesterday with this guy who owns a burlesque bar. That's just the conversation went for like an hour and a half. Like, and at one point he cried. He was such a passionate guy. It was pretty awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, I've had a crazy good week.
Damn. You know, I went to my first burlesque show when I moved to the West Coast. I didn't know what to expect. I've since now went to like 3 or 4 of them now. Like, they're very, very entertaining, especially when they fuck with people in the crowd. I love that shit. I try to be as far back as possible so they won't fuck with me, but I love watching them fuck with everybody else.
Everyone I've been to has been drastically different than the last. Has that been the same way for you, or are you going to the same like troupe the whole time, the same company? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. I mean, the thing about it is that, like, in all honesty, I don't even feel like there's many things like that available for me to find when I was in the Midwest, or maybe I just didn't have an adventurous attitude.
I mean, dude, there's one downtown St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's here.
Yeah, it's here.
Damn, I was in the house playing video games. Anyways, hanging out at, what is it, coffee? What was it? Where were we used to go at late night? Coffee Cartel, bro. 2 a.m.
Rest in peace.
For no
Rest
reason.
in peace, man.
Just in a coffee shop, talking about random shit, whether it be music, comics, movies. We were there doing it. But let's get back on topic. This is what happens. We meet up, we have these kind of conversations, and they just go a billion different places. But let's get back to the topic at hand. It is none other than what if the finale, the final episode. Now, we see the Watcher, just to give people out there a little premise of what's happening. We see the Watcher throughout this initial season being our narrator, right? Giving us a bunch of different characters that are introduced, giving us a lot of information for their own little separate worlds, right? Because this isn't like the regular MCU. In this MCU, or in this Marvel timeline, things, I feel like every episode, it was a switch off, obviously, because it was What If. That and the entire series seemed pretty, like, desolate and dark. for the most part, especially the Doctor Strange episode. Like I legit like jumped after I saw how many times old girl got killed. I was like, damn, y'all just gonna keep smoking this lady? How are you supposed to be happy after this? How are you supposed to be happy after that?
Very
You know what I'm saying?
episode.
But and it was just a bunch of characters that had, Natasha Romanoff coming from a different dark timeline with this powered up Ultron that we saw in the Party Thor episode. Party Thor himself just being completely irresponsible. I don't know how this dude is supposed to be king of Asgard, but I mean, there is that. But I will say I did notice one thing about Party Thor that is very drastic from the main timeline. It's just the fact that since he didn't have Loki, he was super trusting. Like he literally says, I trust everybody. And
I trust everybody.
Yeah, he's like you, and this was about like Killmonger, another character from one of these timelines who killed Tony Stark and a bunch of other people, as well as just to like get the upper hand, which is heavily alluded to in the story as well. So there's a lot that they actually paid off to building up to this major storyline, right? Because we have all these different characters from these different timelines, but now we have the Watcher, who is actually in danger. The multiverse is in danger because now Ultron, Vision Ultron, Omega powered Ultron with all the Infinity Stones is tearing through the multiverse and beating up the Watcher while they're doing it. It's actually ridiculous how it ends up like playing out. But just overall episode, how'd you feel about it? Tech, let me talk to me.
I liked it a lot, of course. It's fun that it wasn't just random. Like all these episodes kind of felt at first that they were going to be random, and it was pretty awesome that it wasn't random. It got me excited near the end, right? I don't want to go just jump into the end, but it got me excited with the end, with the possibilities of what they can now do.
Right.
Now that we've actually saw a multiversal war, which is in essence what we saw, what the One Who Remains was talking about at the end of Loki. We just saw it. That's pretty fucking dope.
Damn. I was kind of thinking that's what we were looking at, right? We were looking at like this multiversal like fight that I wasn't thinking it was a war, but just the fact that it happened, right? And that it's still overlapping with like some of the MCU instances that we know. You know what I'm saying? Like Loki coming back, or T'Challa and the whole nine. But go on, Ben.
Ultron was waging his multiversal war, and then the Guardians of the Multiverse, which is a term I fucking love, just rolls off the tongue, comes in and has their multiversal tussle to end it all.
Yo,
so I don't know what a war would have felt like to that. Like, obviously this was just the right amount of people to stop it, so that's cool. But like I don't know. I always feel like a war is like two even sides, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
So also,
but obviously they didn't need the whole Marvel universe. All they needed was a few characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to wrap this shit up. And obviously they couldn't have done it without Sorcerer Supreme or whatever.
Oh yeah, Strange Supreme.
Strange Supreme, thank you.
Yeah, he was actually broken. Like he was super strong. Like it was a scene in here. Once again, full spoilers. It was a scene in the show where it was like a giant explosion from Ultron. And then you see Doctor Strange reverse it, and he was like, wait, what? Like, when I saw that, like, that kind of power, and then just the reaction itself, man, like, that really made me laugh. I was like, whoa, damn, that was a real reaction, because I was like, hold up. What now? Like, that was exactly what you want to see. And, like, speaking about, like, even powers, right? Like, just to talk about, like, I felt like Strange Supreme definitely was the powerhouse, right? Even Ultron kind of figured it out, and he was just like, yo, if I can take out Strange Supreme, then I would be able to like off all of you guys, right? Also, Ben, I wanted to ask you, being the resident comic book artist that, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to ask you, how'd you feel about looking at the Kirby Crackle like come to life? That was actually sick to me.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
I was like, what the hell?
That's exactly what it should have looked like.
That's exactly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've read a lot of comics where they have this Kirby Crackle, right? And I've never thought that it could be animated. It never occurred to me that you could legit animate something like this, and it looks so good. There's some big splashes, shots, even in the previous episode before the finale with the Watcher, Walter using the Kirby Crackle going around it, and them using all these different effects. And personally, like,
if you've ever read Silver Surfer, you'll know what we're talking about. And if you
I had to Google it. I had no idea what a Kirby Crackle was.
And if you read the recent run by Trad Moore, he paid homage to it big time. But yeah, you know what's funny is I've always read that and I never felt it animated. It always felt strange. Like, what is that? Like, it always felt cosmic and strange. No pun intended, I suppose. But now that it's animated, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect fucking sense.
Bro, the fact that like
you
Kirby
nailed
had
that.
like an actual like description for what the Kirby crackle was. It's like the negative space outside of energy. I was like, bro, that's
Yeah.
actually crazy to me. The fact
Yeah.
that they have like a whole I ain't gonna say scientific, but a comic book scientific reasoning behind what
It was
the Kirby
it
crackle
was like a rip in space.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like cosmic energy
you're
leaking
seeing
through a
through
rip.
space.
Yeah. But no, that was one of the big things here. I felt like as much as we didn't see, because I felt like there was a lot left on the table when it comes to understanding, and for the most part with What If, they kind of lean mostly on what we already know to make the narrative of these characters in this series even stronger, right? So, I mean, we look at T'Challa, right? And I love the fact that we have T'Challa and we have Killmonger, right? In the same series from different times, where in one, he killed him, right? And Uatu was 100% aware of this. But just the fact, right, that he calls him, he plays on the, hey man, I'm not your cousin. He was like, cousin, what are you doing? Stuff like that. Like the fact that even though we don't, like, there is no specific instance outside of this show, and the Black Panther, you know, crossover with the hey auntie, hey, like I love the fact that they kind of implemented all these things, not only from like the actual cinematic universe, but translated it over to the animation side as well. So I just wanted to say it was really cool to see them still go and use all these different animation techniques to display a lot of different things in animation wise in the show. I mean, and
Little
just
musical notes too. Every
yes,
time
yes.
either Wakandan was on stage, you had a little flute like hand drum action or whatever. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they definitely used the Killmonger theme a lot. Like the Killmonger theme was showing up. They had like I guess a Captain Carter specific theme. We heard the Avengers theme. We even heard Doctor Strange's theme. And I don't know what it is about like the music, but every time I hear it, like I feel it. That's whatever scene we're watching, I'm like, this feels great. Like I don't know what it is. Like when they swept to the Avengers theme, I was like, oh man, I don't know why, but it makes me feel really good to see it or hear it.
I
I
need
should
to
say.
mention a few years ago, back when the MCU was first gearing up. I think it was every frame of painting. One of the big YouTube channels had a whole video on theme songs, and they were just interviewing people on the street. They're like, sing the James Bond theme, or sing the, I don't know, any theme song, Superman theme. And they're like, what's the Avengers theme? And everyone's like, there isn't one. So I think soon after that video happened, when Avengers 2 came out, maybe it was Ultron or something like that, or maybe it was just before Avengers. Then now MCU's got a theme, and every movie's got a big ass song. Like just after this video came out, the MCU kicked their music up to like 11 or whatever, and now we have like whistleable, singable theme songs.
Right?
Awesome.
It's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope.
Oh, one last story. When Ultron trailer finally broke, it might have been Infinity War. Tech, you remember you brought it to me in the gym, and I was watching it on the treadmill. You remember that shit? What was that? Was that Infinity War or Endgame?
Which one?
You showed me the trailer when I think either Infinity War or Endgame. You showed me the trailer, and I was on a treadmill at the gym. You remember?
I don't remember that, but I'm probably showed anyone near me at all times a Marvel trailer. If I could.
Yeah. But dude, I remember being on the treadmill, and then as soon as that theme song hit, getting like goosebumps and almost
bro, right?
They're nailing it with the music.
It's so good. It's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the characters have like their own theme. And I'm rewatching like the MCU from the beginning. I'm up to Captain America Winter Soldier now, and I'm really paying attention to like the music, like Bucky's theme. Dude, I don't know what it was, but it was a scene where like in the opening where I guess it's Black Widow's theme, but it has like this bling, like I don't know what it is, but it hits so hard. And I'm really, just like you said, I'm really loving the fact that they're building a universe not only with like characters, these actors, these actresses, but the music as well. Side note, did you hear that they've actually casted Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? It will be Will Poulter, which is crazy. Sidebar, like once again, so I hosted
super crazy. That guy's we're used to him being like a goofball. Right?
You hear me? Like, I just see this guy as the bully from Toy Story, right? Like, that's who I see this guy as, right? But oddly enough, I just did New York Comic Con for Bandai Namco, and they have this game. They have these series of games, Man of Medan, Little Hope, and he was actually the lead actor, one of the lead actors in this game called Man of Medan. So yeah, it's, dude, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, and just for spooky time, right? They're not paying me to say this, but it's just actually such a sick idea. The game is based off of like urban legend lore and stuff like that. The most recent one takes place during like Iraq in 2003 or something like that. But it's a horror game, 2-player co-op online, but it's 5-player thriller night where you can have 5 players play in person, and every character can die. And it's all based off of, it's kind of like, hey, you have to convince them to keep going and make the right. It's like a horror game played in real life. But yeah, he was actually one of the motion cap actors in that game. So when I heard this, at first I thought it was a rumor, but apparently it's real, man. So I actually can't wait. I feel like it's late, but I guess, you know what I'm saying, James Gunn knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, of course he does. And I'm thinking this is going to be a really huge, big breakout role for him.
Yeah,
you know, like he's done a bunch of cool stuff. You know, nothing like Maze Runner, stuff like that, Midsommar, but whatever. But this is gonna be like his huge coming. Like once you get the MCU, you know, like if you get a recurring role, you're there, you made it. So I'm excited to see what he does with it.
True, that's definitely
true.
Unless
you really iron fisted out, it seems like MCU is just gonna want to keep you as long as possible.
Yeah.
I like that was the term. Unless you iron fisted out. Dude, wow.
We can make that official because
we
that
can
is
legit
like,
make
I knew
that
exactly
official.
what he meant.
I knew exactly what he meant when he said that, bro. I had live instances, like even like people were saying, like I read some article about how like Finn Jones, he wasn't like one to train or something like that. So I'm just like, bro, you really was not trying to be here for the long haul. If you weren't, if you weren't trying your damnedest on a Marvel movie, bro, what were you thinking? Anyways, but back to what I was saying, though. If you look at overall what the series did, it really did set in line a lot of these big story points that could pay off in the next side of things. Now, since this is all canon, I just have a few questions before we get to, like, you know, what happens at the end. Do you guys think, and this goes for the chat as well, and do you guys think we're going to see any of these returning characters in a live action MCU film? Ben, do you, as a comic book writer, I'm one of the reasons I really love having you on here, because I feel like it's really cool to have your understanding of like being so close to comic books. I read a bunch of comic books, you create comic books. Do you feel like there's easy like overlap for these characters that's coming to the MCU outside of them actually having like human counterparts like Miss Haley Atwell?
Well, I think we got a lot of multiverse happening in the next 2 years.
Right.
So we talked about this before, right? Spider-Man's obviously breaking his own, universe, and then we've got Multiverse of Madness, and then we got Quantumania. So we got lots of instances for these characters to overlap. I don't know if any of them are really going to come in and shine. You know, Strange Supreme or whatever definitely has a huge part now, keeping this pocket dimension in check.
Yeah.
Lest the universe unzip all over again, so that's a huge responsibility. Everybody wants to see Captain Carter come to screen, because she needs her time to shine in the MCU. Like, why the hell not?
That's true. I want to see her actually fight somebody.
Oh my god. So, but at the same time, I got, I kind of got PTSD from the Netflix days. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up and say that any of this shit's gonna happen. And maybe we'll get more TV shows, more Disney Plus stuff to show off these characters, or What If Season 2. But to see it come to the silver screen, as it were, is I'm a little apprehensive. I don't know. Maybe Loki Season 2, since that's really multidimensional.
That's true.
There's a lot of options here, but obviously the options with multiverse, the options are unlimited. But
true. That's true.
Yeah.
They could definitely like kind of work it in. And this definitely gives me the whole Exiles feel. Like they basically are just pulling people from different timelines, and the what if scenario is really kind of benefiting them. Especially now we can look at stuff like, Star-Lord, T'Challa, and Killmonger, so Black Panther. Bro, it's so good. Even the fact that they go back and they show us what he's doing when the Watcher comes to get him, and he's literally fighting Peter Quill's dad at a
There
Dairy
you go.
Queen in Missouri to literally like save him, right? And he literally and surprisingly enough, Kurt Russell comes back, and lets him know. And you even see the Mandela, which is one of the dopest names for a spaceship ever, especially for T'Challa. You see, like, the Mandela actually is the first ship that you see come down during that fight before he's picked up. So there's a lot of like overlap. I wanted to ask Yo Tech, are there any stories specifically, right? Because we all love these little different ones. Are there any stories specifically that you would like to see come back in season 2? Because we've heard that Captain Carter will be back, but what is specifically one of the stories, one or two of the stories, or any of the stories that you would like to be like kind of expanded upon in season 2 of What If?
I would love to see what happens in the zombie Thanos ending that we got. I would love to see them actually like, they're headed to Wakanda. Wakanda's been taken over by Thanos zombie now. How do you beat that? You know what I'm saying? So I want to see what happens with that storyline more than anything. I think the Doctor Strange one's kind of wrapped up. We kind of know he's just going to be sitting in that void. Everyone else I don't really care about. I don't care about Party Thor at all.
Nope.
Because I feel like
Nope.
Thor is kind of already headed that way as in the in the actual movie. He's kind of headed towards that jolly, fun guy because of the direction of Taika Waititi. So I'm not sure if there is another storyline that I think has that much interest or could keep going. Obviously, anything with T'Challa, we're not going to get in the same vein because of the passing of Boseman. Which was every time he spoke, I got a little bit sadder,
Bro, every time I heard him talk, I was like, I'm never gonna. When I saw I'm like, what if they made a live action? What if T'Challa was Star-Lord? I was like, I'm never gonna be able to see that. Like, I'm actually, it's not even possible. It really does suck. Thinking about that, man. You're right. You're definitely right about hearing his voice doing this What If stuff.
Now, what I do want to see in the actual MCU, I would love to see Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher. Now, especially with this big fracture of multiverse, and then we're going, as Ben said, we're going into this huge multiverse, the multi-movie problem. I would love to see Jeffrey Wright, the Watcher, say something, come in, pop in, say something. They can do a pretty good, job of recreating that in real life. So I'm super hopeful for that.
Wasn't Stan Lee sitting around talking to a bunch of Watchers?
I was just about to say that. Yeah, in at the end of Guardians 2, they have like the Stan Lee hanging out with the Watchers. You're right, man.
Yeah, he's in like a spacesuit.
Also, bring back James Spader.
Right.
And give me an Ultron.
Give me an Ultron. I want an Ultron return just in general. I want James Spader Ultron return. That's what I want.
I always thought, even without the What If, I always thought since the Age of Ultron, like the end of that there is a possibility that Ultron could come back. Because Ultron's one of those things you can't beat, really.
Bruh.
Yeah, he just put himself on the dark web. He's hanging out until.
Bruh, so wait a minute. Y'all saw the little Easter egg, right? So like apparently right? If we're talking about MCU, Easter egg, and it's like a billion.
Oh, that one? Yeah,
the one with Spider-Man and so in Spider-Man Far From Home, there's a cutscene. So apparently we all know that Ultron resides in the drone with the red eyes. That drone has red eyes. And they didn't use that in the movie. However, we know that those scenes typically are canon, even though they aren't used officially in film. So personally, and they had that the game, was it the Oculus game, where it was literally called The Return of Ultron. And apparently a bunch of the voice actors and the original voice actresses came back to voice, like I think Tom Holland is in it. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is in it as well. Evelyn Lilly, her name is. I'm sorry if I said it. Evelyn Lilly, who plays Wasp. Also, I think reprised her role in there. So I feel like there's a lot that they could actually do and like cover. And you're right, man. Personally, I've always wanted the Ultron that was actually created by Hank Pym. Like I really wanted them to come back and hit me with the retcon and be like, hey, that this was actually created by Hank Pym. I don't know why they did that route of just making it Tony. I guess it's hindsight or whatever the case, but go on.
I think it made sense because like it makes you think. Even while I was watching this finale, I was thinking to myself, man, Tony Stark did all this. Like this is all his fault. And he wanted to make a blanket around the world and he ended universes. That's kind of heavy. That's super heavy for his legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like 'cause he's gone now and he's supposed to be a hero, but like in this what if situation, he's destroyed the world
Nah,
Okay, so-
with his decisions.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's an excellent point. Because, like, okay, first thing this has been in the back of my head for a few minutes now. Marvel's going out of their way to tell us this is canon.
yeah.
Like, multiple times before, in the middle, and after. So, like, obviously, some of this is going to come out.
Exactly.
On top of that, what Tech just said, but Tony's legacy aside, the entire multiverse system almost was destroyed by Ultron in this show.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
Well, maybe not the nature of multiverse, but like life in all multiverses.
Yeah, I was about to say, to my understanding, like this is bigger than like what the Avengers did, essentially, right? Like this is
bigger than Thanos.
Right? This is so much bigger.
The writers are like, okay, so Thanos only did half. What if Ultron did most?
Right.
So, like, if this is canon, you're not just going to recover from that unless the Watcher just reversed course and brought everybody back to life or something. But well, I guess he did because he put Widow back on a...
Yeah, like
another
alternate
thing, too,
timeline.
Another thing worth talking about is this infinite universes. Now that the timeline is fractured, there's no one sacred timeline, so
That's
you just have to scan this infinite Rolodex until you can find a place suitable for Black Widow to go back and into action. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Rick Sanchez does it.
Right? Exactly.
So, like,
Right.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Did anyone else get like a hopeful glee that this is possibly a way that Black Widow comes back into the MCU?
I was just thinking that, right? The fact that
struck a
this
deal.
happened, they just struck a deal. Everybody's happy now. Scarlett Johansson is cool
Wait,
with
she struck
Disney.
a deal with Disney again?
I think it's not like.
I know it's settlement.
I think
which
it's
is just
settlement. I
a
think it's
deal.
settlement. It's a
I think
settlement.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that this is a play for Black Widow to eventually come back to live action, right? Like, and just imagine if, you know what I'm saying, but that timeline that they show Black Widow in, it's very different. Like, they're fighting on a helicarrier. It's like Captain Marvel is there. Loki's on top of the hell. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, we have no idea what's happening in that timeline at all because of just the nature of the fight and the war that's happening. So it's definitely a way, I feel like, for Black Widow to come back. But will you do it though? But you know what?
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are you okay? Are we okay with that? And this for us and the chat. Are we okay with them maybe going back on some of the decisions they've made using the multiverse? Like, are we like say, all right, we know Chris Evans is a young guy.
Yep, he could definitely run it back. He could definitely run it back. He could definitely run it back. Hugh Jackman was playing Wolverine at like 45. All right, hold on. So chat, please let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna answer this question right now. As a comic book reader, we already know that there are timelines. One of the whole reasons Miles Morales exists is because of these alternate timelines getting crossed over with the main timeline, right? This could be one of those instances. We could have, and on top of that, I actually think this is a build-up for Secret Wars. Because if they do this, right, let's just say Chris Evans comes back. Let's just say Robert Downey Jr. comes back for Secret Wars and Secret Wars only. Think about that. You can have this other dimension Tony Stark come through, right? And be like, hey, I'm here. You can have Black Widow come through and be like, hey, I'm here. You can have Chris Evans, Hydra, Captain America if you wanted to, and have the next Avengers or the next big movie be a Secret War movie where it's a one-off. Do you know the theater will catch fire from people screaming? I'm just saying. If they just imagine that. If they just like, nah, man, this is a Secret War and any timeline is up for grabs, because that's what they're doing. Like, even though we know in the MCU that, you know, Tony Stark is dead and Captain America is out of commission, we've seen them. I mean, Black Widow is dead. You know, all these characters have come back in some capacity. Whether it be just vocally, whether it be another timeline, whether it be in death because they're affected in some way, they've always come back. So it's not far-fetched to me to believe that we could potentially see a return of a Black Widow, even if it is for one movie. But I would want them to take advantage of it. I would want them to literally say, hey guys, there's multiple timelines, because they've already set it up that there are variants, but just imagine if you get that Captain America, Chris Evans as Captain America from that timeline that we saw in the What If episode. And literally it's just like, hey, what's in this time? Like, oh, in this timeline, you're dead. But you got to fight to save your own timeline. Like that kind of thing is what comic books do anyway. So I feel like it's only natural.
Go ahead, but I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll go. I think Giltoss is right. Of course, it's down to execution. I read a lot of comics. I have 6 very large moving boxes. No, 9 very large moving boxes full of books I have to unpack. So, but I'm not patting myself on the back because I don't read a lot of Big 2 because stories end after 3 or 6 months or a year, and it starts a whole new story all over again. And all of a sudden, Wolverine's not dead anymore, and that always bothered me. Right. Now, I always know when they kill Wolverine, I'm like, this is Marvel's one of his biggest money makers. They're not going to let this dude stay dead. We got Old Man Logan, and then he's just back.
Yeah.
So that's always bothered me about the Big 2, and I have never been able to follow any long-running DC or Marvel storyline for quite a while. Like I'm reading Powers of X and House of X right now, and that's how backlogged I am.
Bruh, that shit is absolutely fucking amazing. I have a hardback copy. Bro,
insane.
Tech, have you not read this?
No,
oh my god. Oh my bro.
While he was talking, I pulled up my iPad and I pulled up my Marvel's Unlimited, and I'm like, let me bookmark this now.
House and Powers of X, Jonathan Hickman. Oh my motherfucking god. That has got to be one of, if not the best X-Men stories I've ever read in my life. It is fucking ridiculous. Dude, it is. Oh, God. After this call, I'm definitely going to hit you up at Discord. I need to know where you are at. It's that. I literally have the hardback collection right behind me on my bookshelf, still in the plastic.
Dude, I got the paperback, and that shit was still $50.
Bro, I have every individual issue. I have every individual issue, and I got the collection of the hardback. It's that good. Right. But I'm sorry, I don't even know what we were talking about.
That being said, I typically, historically, classically, hate it when characters don't stay dead. But if the MCU is obviously one continually running story, not a story being rebooted. Like, thank God, comic book movies have gotten to the point where we've stopped doing reboots, at least in the Marvel capacity, right? So thank God for that. Mm-hmm. So if they can do it right, make it smart, not go full ham with it, and just bring everybody back and just kill people willy-nilly, whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna again be a little apprehensive and say, yeah, do it, but maybe not. Like Tech himself even said he doesn't want Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so like,
not at all.
Wait. You don't want Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Fuck no.
I'm not. Look. I'm not disagreeing. But hear me out, right? This goes back to my idea. Speculation Steve in the building. That's me reporting for duty. Okay, so what if they give us literally Old Man Logan and Laura from Logan, literally just them, and once it ends, it resets. We get a different Wolverine, or maybe even X-23.
Let's not even play it and just start with a new Wolverine. I'm ready for a new fresh X-Men. Pull some of the, like I've said this before, pull some of the ones that did good. And let's, like, Hugh Jackman, he's 53. Let him go. Let's get a new one. I want to say this before I forget. Okay. I think I've already forgot.
Damn, no,
I didn't. I got it. The reason why I'm okay with this retconning or bringing back people is because if you asked me a few months ago, I would have said no. I'm not going to feel the same way. Like, if you brought back Steve Rogers, I wouldn't feel the same way, I thought, until Loki. Because I knew going into that's not my Loki, right? And I still got an emotional attachment.
Facts. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's definitely true.
But also, shout out to Giltoss, it's how they did it. Yeah. They did it. They Loki series did it so well. Yeah. Right. And Tom Hiddleston is such a good actor that, like, it was almost by the end of the first episode, I was like, yeah, that's my new Loki. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's possible that
a Loki we care about instead of just shit disturber. Right?
Such a more dynamic Loki that we'd ever gotten. And now, but it's all still based on all the Loki we know.
Yep.
It was perfect. But as far as like going forward with like Hugh Jackman, I loved him as Wolverine. He was literally the Ryan Reynolds casting when they got Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds. Like, yes, that's the person. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, but we got to try to find it again because it's been too long and too many movies. And I've already had Old Man Logan. I've seen him die. And I'm ready for the next iteration of Wolverine.
But how is that not the same for Alfred Molina's Doc Ock? You know what I'm saying? William Dafoe's Green Goblin. Now wait. I know. Once again, I'm really not arguing the point. I'm more just playing devil's advocate, right? But I was also gonna say, for me, this is how I wrap my head around it, right? For me, the MCU is like the definitive like cinematic universe for Marvel, right? That includes Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man, Fox's X-Men. Every movie to me at this point is part of the MCU. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Marvel so geniusly made it so. They made it so the X-Men are canon. Like, they've made it so that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is MCU canon. And for me, I see it as every one of those movies that are not affiliated with MCU right now, those were all because of the breaking of the multiverse. So the Fox X-Men, the fucking Sam Raimi, I don't think the I would say in the MCU terms of being canon, the first Spider-Man to me would still be Tom Holland. And that may be once again, me wrapping my head around it, it comes from the fact that this multiversal fallout. I feel like if anything, they should retcon all those movies, right? And say that those timelines only exist because of what's happening in the MCU right now. That's how I feel. If they did that to me, I would be 100% okay with it. And in my mind, it's already so. And that's all I wanted to say.
But I don't know if that's a good idea.
I know.
Like, I don't know if it's a good idea to do that because you have such a golden egg with this MCU that we have. You have a lot of misses that you're bringing into this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a lot of.
True.
I'm not even sure Tom Hardy works in the MCU, just based off of the two movies I saw him as Venom. It's good. They're good, mindless entertainment. But I put that in Fast and Furious category. I don't put that in Endgame category or Infinity War or even any Marvel movie. I don't put that in that category. So I don't know how that's gonna affect it. I don't know if you put a bad apple with it, does the fungus spread? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
So the hope is, right? I'll break this down in two ways, right? The hope is that Tom Hardy just 100% plays ball, listens to Marvel, and be like, well, look, this is the story we're trying to craft. Your character fits this now, right? Like, if that works and they do it properly, just like you and Giltal said, it's all about how they deliver it at this point. If they've got I feel like they've got every piece in place right now for Marvel to make it a big thing for them to take advantage of it. Like, they're right there. They're definitely capable of doing it. The problem is, how will they actually deliver? That's the real thing.
And by the time we even get to X-Men, that man gonna be 63 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still talking about Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way. Imagine.
Well,
same age as Professor X. Like, come on.
Him and Professor X gonna be the same age. Well, either way, we kind of got a little bit off topic. We did. Let's get. See, this is what happens. We already knew this was gonna happen. But just to go back onto things, did anybody trust Killmonger? Because I didn't. There was not one instance that I was like, he's definitely going to.
Well, them asking, do you trust him is what do they call that?
It's the rhetorical. Foreshadowing, yeah.
Killmonger gonna Killmonger. I wouldn't expect him to try to take over the universe though, but I mean they flushed out his villainy in this.
Power
pretty well.
Absolute, was it power corrupts absolutely, right?
Yeah. That's true. Also,
yeah. No altered universe Killmonger is a good person.
No, just
all of them are bad. My man's just evil, bro. My man killed his cousin, then went and killed Tony Stark. And this was crazy.
You're trying to get under somebody's skin, you get in a fight in a bar, you say, hey, you're an asshole in every dimension.
Right, exactly. And I think it's funny because, like, you can see how, like, Killmonger legit gets people on his side. Like, when he was talking to Peggy Carter about after he took the stones, right? He got the stones. He's like, I'm Ultron Killmonger mode now, which is hella comic booky, and I love that shit, right? But once that happened, he was talking to the rest of the team. He was like, this is the best way for you guys to get all your timelines back. And for a second, everybody was like, damn, he's right. And I was like, this motherfucker is evil. Like, damn. Like, he actually is evil. Like,
Giltar said this just now. I don't understand how the Watcher didn't see that coming. Like, in every instance we've seen this dude, he's trash. Like, he's absolute garbage. So he's a garbage human.
So my argument is that, once again, the Watcher 100% knew about this. There's no way he didn't know. Because even when he goes to Killmonger, he says the something of Tony Stark. He said also the blank and then the killer of Tony Stark. And when he says that, he squints at him. So he 100% is aware. And I will argue that he knew that was going to happen. That's what,
I think Train said that. I think Train said the idea wasn't to get the stones, just get it away from Ultron.
And it's like, I think like that's the whole premise of it, right? What if the Watcher broke his oath is just that. But since we know that this is canon, right? The real thing that I like to say about knowing this is canon is that right now in the MCU, the scene that is on the screen right now, let me make it bigger so you guys can see it. That's a real thing. In somewhere right now, fucking Strange Supreme has Ultron Killmonger versus Zola Vision in a bubble somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, that's one of the big payoffs, and they've already talked about how this could play a part in the MCU. I just want to know what parts of it will actually play a part. That's the real question.
Yeah.
So, what I was gonna ask you, Tech. So, if I was gonna say, so I've heard about this episode with Gamora. When they introduced Gamora to the team, which we didn't get, one of the only characters we didn't get backstory for, our episode for, they talk about her being the destroyer of Thanos. We also see Tony saying, I want to put a suit of armor around the galaxy, which I don't even know how that's possible. Like, I don't know how it's possible. Authentic Sky 5 months back with the Taste Bud Sub Club. My bad, Tech. I had to make sure I show some love to the homies coming through. Yo, shout outs to the homies coming through. Hosting Sensei, I see you. The Juiced, I see you. Frost NYC, I see you. And everybody else, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yo, can I get some noise in the chat, though? But no, so apparently that this episode is going over to season 2. Yo, Tech, if you want, bro, you can give us a quick, I ain't gonna say spoil it, but if you...
I don't know. I have no idea. I just know Tony Stark's in it, and hopefully this is one episode where he doesn't die, because he's died in every single one of them.
So apparently, I did some digging, and apparently, this episode involves Gamora killing Thanos. Obviously, right? I don't know, and it said savior of Sakaar, right? So that's another storyline point that we know. So I don't, other than that, like, I know it has something to do with Sakaar, and we only know Sakaar from Thor Ragnarok, as well as somehow that Tony ended up on Nidavellir with Gamora for some reason, with the Stone Crusher.
Oh, that's right, because he went into the, in the Battle of New York, when he went through, he didn't come back, and he fell through the portal to Sakaar.
Well, I mean, if I don't, once again, that could be it, you know, or maybe. I
think I saw that.
What if it's what if it's when Hulk got sent to another planet, got sent to Sakaar, right? At the end of, what was it, Age of Ultron? What if that's the instance in which, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but I feel like Tony Stark would have been able to find his way back to Earth if he got sent off in the ship. So I feel like your assumption is probably a lot more correct.
Yeah, I think I legit heard that somewhere from one of those spoil everything YouTube videos.
Oh, okay. Also, just the fact that we have like this, and that's what I mean about having like this alternate timeline, Black Widow. Black Widow being from a different timeline and still being, you know, possibly able to show back up is just hella comic book 101. Like, it wouldn't be too far-fetched, but it's like you guys said, it's more about the way that they, you know, actually put this onto film. But I wanted to say before we get out of here, because we only got like another 5 minutes before we got to wrap this up, and I know Ben has a call. Are you hyped for the Eternals? Like, what are your thoughts on the Eternals before? Because it's almost about that time, and apparently this takes place. Eternals takes place a lot closer to the end of it's the Endgame sequel. Personally, I feel like Spider-Man and Eternals is the official like sequel, because it takes place afterwards, as well as they directly reference it. What is your temperature? What are you feeling about Eternals so far?
I feel like Shang-Chi was a fun little vacation, sort of like an Ant-Man, if you will, sort of like Black Widow, if you will. And I am extremely excited for Eternals. I think there's also some whispers out there, some grumbling, some crackle, some Kirby crackle, that this movie might be a really big deal.
I'm a firm believer that this is the beginning stories of the X-Men. I'm a firm believer, just based off of what Marvel has been doing with the Eternals, tying in mutants with the arrival of the Deviants and the Eternals and the Celestials and the whole nine. This is the play. And I feel like, just as somebody who reads comics and see that it's been building up, I feel like this is the play. I'm gonna say it again as we get closer, and I want the internet to hear me. I would be surprised if we don't get a mutant cameo, hint, connection of some sort by the end of the Eternal movies. By the time the lights come on in the theater, I would be surprised if we didn't get a hint at mutants. That's just me.
Give me some Dark Phoenix.
Right?
Right?
That's heavy right there. That's heavy right there.
Give me some, I don't know.
This is completely left field. I just want mutants so I can eventually get to the part where Rogue kicks Brie Larson's ass.
Yo, real talk.
I don't know why I want to see that so bad, but I want two heroes to end up becoming like the villain sad story for Captain Marvel.
Damn.
Okay, we just said at the start of the show, we need Captain Marvel to fucking chill out. No, sorry, I was saying that with my last client. We need something to chill out Captain Marvel because she's too strong.
Yeah, she's buff as shit,
She doesn't have that
bro.
Superman problem of being like a real person. She's just
I don't really know.
I hate the term Mary Sue, but she really is.
She's like a bailout.
She's
every
definitely
time you need a bailout, they just call her up.
Right.
So and she really doesn't have any shortcomings other than the fact that she's in space. Like, that's if she was closer, she'd be a problem.
She's a monster.
Right? Like,
so the rogue solution. Let's just call it the rogue solution. We'll talk about it on the next call. But like that's what you do.
I actually think I'm 100% okay with that. Like,
It'd
look,
be incredible.
If the depowering has been something that's happened in comics for years on top of years, give us our first movie depower. That would be crazy. And obviously, don't put her in a coma or anything like that, but just make it so she loses her powers. But you know what that would do? That would mean that Photon or Monica Rambeau, as well as Miss Marvel coming later down the line, would properly get more shine, right? Like, they would.
When I got the announcement that they're changing the name of Captain Marvel 2 to the Marvels, I kind of felt like they could be going in the direction of depowering her.
That's what I think too. I'm almost, dude.
I thought that was alluding to Miss Marvel.
Well, that's the thing. It's called the Marvels, so it's all the Miss Marvels, right? And we know Miss Marvel, the Kamala Khan, she has her own show coming on Disney Plus. We don't know what happens to Monica Rambeau, but this is my idea. Man, I'm gonna say idea. What if Rogue comes in, depowers Captain Marvel, Photon becomes the new Captain Marvel, the X-Men go off, and they're still Miss Marvel? I feel like you can run that. I feel like that's a way that you can run that, because they're doing the whole big Spider-Man, small Spider-Man kind of storyline thing now. Because if there's no more Captain Marvel, which I feel like they might head towards, because I definitely feel like, what are you gonna make a movie about her? Who's she gonna fight? Like, what happens after this if she's just so powerful? I think you depower Miss Marvel. You depower Captain Marvel. You give the Marvel title to Miss Marvel, and you let Monica Rambeau be Photon. That's just the way I see it. You could possibly run
That'll
it,
work.
What was I gonna say? It was one more thing though. It was one more thing. Oh, I was gonna ask you, Tech, how do you feel about Eternals, man? What's your thoughts on Eternals?
I have my ticket already.
Damn.
I'm excited, but a little nervous, right?
Yeah, like, I was good to be a little nervous.
Yeah, just a little, like a healthy nervous, but I mean, they can have all my money at all times. So I 100% believe it's going to be a great movie. I don't know the implications of what it's going to bring forth in the MCU. I would love to see them address the fact that, hey, we've been here since day one. It didn't do shit ever.
I haven't watched the latest trailer, but the last trailer is like, hey, where the fuck you been?
Yeah. It's just nothing but
I want to see what they
questions.
say. I want to see what happens. I have very little expectations as far as, like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have an idea of, like, these. I don't know these characters. I don't know anything about Eternals.
I have no idea what's about to happen.
This is probably the most empty slate I've had since Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know about Guardians of the Galaxy either. Like, I didn't watch. I don't think a lot of people did or didn't read. I don't think tons of people did.
Oh yeah, a lot of people didn't read Guardians. I could tell you that for 100. I've never read like a full Guardians of the Galaxy comic until like Annihilation or something like that.
I knew who Drax the Destroyer was because of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. but that's it. Like, and I barely had a connection to that.
Yeah, New Rocket and
I had no idea.
I had one trade, but that trade had so many extra characters in it.
Yep. Yeah.
Guardians is actually a pretty big team.
The Guardians is a really big team, and it's got a lot of his. Like, I went after the first Guardians movie, I went and like, let me see what the lore is on this team. Like, it's a lot of Guardians lore. Like, and if once you go back and read, you see that they really do a really good job of tying that in, because they got Sylvester Stallone in there to play some of the other Guardians as well.
Guardians 2 did a great job.
Dude, Guardians
2 opened the whole universe. Man. It was awesome.
They alluded to a lot of those OG characters, as well as just saying like, hey, this world is a lot bigger than just this one team of Guardians. And apparently, like, the fact that they're actually introducing Adam Warlock, Nova's coming down the line. Like, the Galaxy Marvel is still just as strong and potentially is filling. Yeah, bro. Like, the Nova, what the Nova movie is, right? I'm telling you right now, the Nova movie is going to begin with Thanos going to get that stone. That's all it is, bro. It has to be that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And they've already set the plate for it.
Yeah, it'll be the war for Nova Prime.
Yeah. Ben, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you got to get ready to head out of here, right? You want to call it?
No, I'm actually
cool?
set. I don't have a client for the 2 hours.
Oh, cool,
I need to keep doing housework. But,
okay.
I'm drawing. I'm actually drawing a buff Captain Marvel right now, or Captain Carter.
A buff Captain Carter right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a Captain Carter movie. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's a void in my heart that Chris Evans left, and I need someone to fill it, and I think she'd be perfect.
You need that wholesome attitude, right? You need the wholesome, I'm trying to save people attitude, bro. And and on top of that, I just want to see her get down. Yo, this looks cool as shit, dude. This dude being quick with it, man. I forgot the world of digital art exists. He instantly shared it with me. That was gala. Can I show this? Should I show this? Please, please. Hey guys, I want y'all to see this real quick. Hold up. This is what the homie's working on right now. Let me see if I can hit this bad boy with the full screen.
That boy talented.
That boy good. That boy good.
Hit that link on the bottom left of the image. It says like full screen.
Oh yeah, the open the original. Boom. Here we go.
Careful sharing your Discord too. You share a lot of.
Oh yeah.
Personal information in there.
Let me move this real quick while I'm here.
And then you can like click mouse wheel, zoom in.
Yeah. Control it. Boom. There you go. And you all digital these days, man. I remember I used to draw. And I used a pencil, and they was like, yo, you got to get a tablet these days. I'm like, bro, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Ben out here still. I went pro a couple years ago and started buying all nice shit. I got a Cintiq Pro here. Hey.
Yeah.
I still have a few of your posters that I've yet to hang up because I'm still in move transition myself. So you already know I'm a fan. Yo, JD Rex, welcome back to the Taste Bud Sub Club. What's up with you, Koiji Bo, as well? Yo, can I get some noise in the chat, though? So, also, while I still have you guys here, so did you guys see Suicide Squad?
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
So, did you guys also hear that the same person who scored musically Suicide Squad will be doing the new Guardians of the Galaxy? I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because James Gunn just worked with him. I will say, though, like, the music doesn't seem as memorable as anything else that I've heard from Guardians, right? I think of Guardians, and I think the soundtrack is literally it should be, like, starring the soundtrack of the Guardians of the Galaxy as well. Like, they should.
The music is a big deal in those movies, for sure.
In the last 10 years, like, with being older, we come from a generation of soundtracks, OSTs, and, like, a movie comes out and you listen to the soundtrack, and people kind of got away from that. And Guardians was one of the movies that brought me 100%. I listen to the soundtrack all the time, even to this day.
Yeah, it's still songs on the soundtrack.
Like, it's a good one to have, like, on a record or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a great compilation.
It's a great compilation.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the Guardians, I don't know what it is. Every time I watch Guardians 2, I get in the feels, bro. Because it's like and I can remember specific parts. I am not back to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but when Rocket and Peter have that conversation before he goes off with his dad, and he's just like, I don't know what it is, man. If you want everybody to hate you, you're doing a damn good job. And then he like walks off, and and if you don't love me, I was like, oh shit, that's so good. The transition from and that's why I say I feel like the music is definitely a major part, just the same, of Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think that's a pretty cool thing for them to do. I can't remember even what the date is for Guardians of the Galaxy
Guardians
3 at
3?
this point. Yeah, I think is
I
it
don't think I
end
even
of
knew.
2022?
I just looked at it and forgot it that quick.
2023.
Damn, that's mad far away.
It's-
But we're good though because they got like 4 or 5 projects coming out each year
yeah, we're gonna
going
be fine.
forward. So like we're not even gonna miss it. By the time we look up, it's gonna be ready to drop.
You heard
May 5th.
May 5th.
May 5th, 2023.
Damn. Did y'all hear that? Damn, I was about to say. So apparently they did some interview with Marvel, and they said they're working on 31 projects at this point.
Dude, it's so dumb. I love it.
I'm like, bro, what the hell? No,
we got
can't.
Armor Wars, we got Moon Knight, we got all kinds of shit.
Damn,
we need
that's
to
true.
protect
She-Hulk.
Kevin Feige at all costs.
Bro, they need to put this motherfucker in a glass box and feed him food through a tube. Don't let anything happen to this man, bro.
He's the new Hollywood Pope. Just put him in a Pope mobile,
Oh yeah.
right? Full security detail.
I wonder how much DC hates. No, let me shut up. Like, how
Right?
much do they hate
No,
this man?
I bet you they hate him. I bet you they in the production room at WB like, who is Kevin Feige here? Is there a variant Kevin Feige?
I wonder if The Rock is pissed that Bautista got in here and he didn't.
You know, it's always funny to me because like now Dave Bautista's kind of at odds. I feel like with Disney, right? And it's so weird to me because I'm not gonna say it's for nothing, but like I don't know, man. I have such and I don't know the industry or anything like that, but character wise, I would love to see them expand upon like Drax a little bit more. Is it movie worthy? I don't know, but I mean, I never thought that we would get an Iron Man movie too. So
I can tell you that he's actor worthy.
he's definitely
he can pull
he
his
can
own movie for
100%
goddamn sure.
pull his own
You think
movie.
so?
I think so.
yeah.
He's
Did
I
you
think
guys
he's
see Army of the Dead?
Yeah, and he
I
was
know.
the only good part of it.
Oh,
bro.
I don't know, man.
I first off, Army of the Dead was very much walking over like Legos. Like it wasn't like the cleanest. But no, I think but I do think that Dave Bautista could carry the role, right? I think that if they was like, hey, we're gonna expand. He even talks about like they give you a little bit of
he's a
it.
good actor.
I think he's a good actor too, especially to be like the proposed like muscle guy actor. Like I think he's a good actor.
Okay, sure, but the character Drax the Destroyer is not that intriguing. He's dumb.
No, I don't. You know what? You're right. I think he doesn't have a very good arc right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a horrible arc, and they tried to give you that my wife and daughter thing, and it still didn't stick. You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
I really wish.
I'm not gonna argue with you. You're right.
Yeah.
But a lot of characters were flat until they weren't.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
Apparently, Evangeline Lilly says that she just had an awakening moment in film, like this week in filming. Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, like where she's like, she gets the character now, and this is like the 5th movie she's been in. You know,
That's
so
crazy.
I think that's
you never
really
know.
crazy. I think that's really crazy. I mean, but in all honesty, it's not like she was doing any kind of a bad. She played the shit out of that role. No matter how big or small her role was, she always killed it. Like, and I'm always impressed. But like, in all honesty, the Ant-Man and the Wasp movies are hella good. The build up, the way that they've evolved over time, like they just do such a good job of really encompassing a bunch of different characters from the universe, and in a different side of it, right? The heist, super smart side of it, like kind of gimmicky, but it still works out.
Legitimately funny too.
It's
Batista's
legit
a good
funny.
actor, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to shit on Batista at all. I think he's a great actor.
Apparently, they said they're gonna bring the daughter into the equation because her name is like Moondragon. She's a legit character in the Guardians. She's a legit the wife of Drax, not so much, but like I really wish they had stuck to literally like they made him a meathead, but like in the comics, Drax is literally like, oh, I just want to kill Thanos. Like that's and they kind of gave it to you, and I know why, because they were like, oh, that might be a little too one-sided, right? It might be just like, yo, everybody wants to kill Thanos, right? But if they kept him with the, yo, bro, I just want to kill Thanos. In the comics, he succeeds to some degree, right? But it's just pure hatred. So it's not like this funny, bubbly, any kind of Drax that we get from the movie Guardians of the Galaxy that we're watching now. So in that strength, I don't know how they will make a movie in it. The story, I would still buy him wanting to kill Thanos, but it's too late now. I feel like that ship has sailed. Like the character now, Drax, is in a weird spot when it comes to, you know, the movies and the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy, depending on what they want to happen with the rest of the characters. So
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of Guardians, how fucking dope does that game look?
13 days.
Oh, that's how soon it comes out. Apparently, they just showed like
October
Adam
26th.
Warlock in that game too. They showed him for the first time in that game. Apparently.
Yeah, that's super exciting. That game looks great.
That
Is this
game,
gonna be do you know, is this gonna be multiplayer?
they haven't said yet, and the original was it is not multiplayer. So,
Okay, that just like so I just got a PS5 and that's definitely gonna be a PS5 game if it's
oh
not
yeah,
multiplayer.
oh yeah, bro. You whoa. Have you not played the Spider-Man games?
I already beat Spider-Man 1 when it came out on PS4 and I just got to the point in Miles Morales where they're like, well, you need to go back and level up or because this is the end of the story. So
Yeah.
I bought Miles Morales when it came out, but then I kind of like chilled off of it.
hmm
And now that I got the PS5, I've been started over from scratch and been loving it.
So
I haven't finished it either. By the time I pick it back up, I better have a 5 so I can finish it up proper.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm doing.
my first time playing the Spider-Man PS4 game was the remastered version for PS5. So I was like, yeah, and it's fucking ridiculous. It's beautiful. That and just the fact that like it's definitely, in my opinion, it's the best Spider-Man game I've ever played. Like I've not played that OG Spider-Man game. I'm like, damn, especially that PS5 one. And then I played through and beat Miles Morales as well. I do like the original a little better, like the remastered PS5 version a little better because of how long it was. But overall, no, the game's beautiful. It's hella fun, and even though they have like the way that they wrote the story to incorporate every one of these Spider-Man characters, and not only just on like the Peter side, but on the Miles Morales side and introducing in the character, I felt like they legit took like 30 years of comic book history and made it into a game, and it seems seamless to me. Like, even though I'm like one of those canon junkies, right? I'm like, he didn't work there, this didn't happen. Like, I'm one of those guys. But the way that they fit the universe together and made everything play out, I can't say anything about it. It was too good.
Hey, the Spider-Man games and the Batman games, well, the Arkham games, are like some of the best comic book stories.
Yes.
Absolutely.
20 years.
100%. 100%. I feel like Miles Morales, like Ben said this to me, and it makes, now that I'm almost done with it, it feels like a DLC to the Spider-Man game.
It does.
It doesn't feel like there's no heavy bosses, there's no big, there's no big fights, there's no big scenes. It just seems like a good story that could have been
DLC.
could have been a great DLC instead of a $60 game.
No, in all honesty, I kind of feel the same because I played it immediately. I played it almost immediately after I played the first one. Once I played the original, the remaster version, I was like, oh shit, I'm going straight into Miles Morales. So I was already like ready. And it definitely looks better. There are certain things about the game I definitely love. Like, it definitely feels a lot more lively than the original. The characters have a lot of personality. There's a lot of different unique characters in there, and the story's just good. But it definitely seems a lot more compact than remastered.
Even the suits, which is a very small part of the game, but in the Spider-Man game, I had to get each suit. Like, it was my thing. And this Miles Morales game, it only has like 12 suits, maybe 16, which is like not even close to what a Spider-Man game had, and it's just not that fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that desire to get the suits like I did with the Spider-Man game.
I will say I did one of the things that I did like a bunch of the challenges. Cause I'm really one of those guys. I tell people all the time, bro, I really don't play games more than once. Like, if I play a adventure game more than once, then that game was goddamn ridiculous. I can tell you right now. I got too many. My back catalog is way too big. If I say, damn, I need to play it again, it's gotta be good. Miles Morales, more focused on the challenges. Once you beat the story, like, I felt like in that game, it was a lot more like individual, like, hey, beat up 100 bad guys, beat 100 bad guys without hitting the ground, swing around and get all these city challenges. Didn't really play a part on the story. They had dialogue and little cutscene and everything, but it mostly seemed like it was like, hey, how good are you at playing as Spider-Man or Miles Morales? How good are you at using these little tricks to get around? Like, that's what that game was kind of like based around. But now, like you said, man, we're getting like, it's a lot of games out there. Also, did you guys see the Sons of the Sons?
Oh my god, I just read the whole comic book. The Sons of, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the Ghost Rider story.
Yes. So you've seen the trailer for the game then, right?
Yeah, I did, and I kind of disagreed with it because I read the comic first.
Yeah. What was that called?
I hate myself when I literally just read the entire
Sons of
series.
something. I can't even fucking remember. Sons of Darkness.
Sons is last. Midnight Suns or something.
Midnight Suns. That's the name of it. Midnight Suns. And it's made by the people. I don't know if you guys played it. That game XCOM.
Those games are great.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, I
and
played a little bit of it.
some people don't like that shit. They was like, yeah, man, but it's made by the people who make XCOM. I'm like, bro, you ain't like XCOM? I'm like, no. I'm like, okay, well, but they recently, I don't know if you guys saw it, maybe a couple weeks ago, they had like a gameplay thing of it, and it looks crazy good.
Yeah, it doesn't
Like,
look like your typical
It
sit still.
it
turn-based
does
whatever.
not. It
Yeah.
does not in the slightest. It looks cool. I don't know if they had any like voice work on it at that time, but I could tell you right now that that game looked fucking great. Like it looked great. But
I'm a little disappointed in what I've seen so far, and the
Oh,
only reason
yeah?
being is because the storyline is literally Midnight Suns is like the horror side of Marvel Comics, and like it's
Mhm.
all the evil demonic things, and I feel like they kind of like popped it up a little bit, like gave it a little
oh,
pop
they had
sheen.
to. They had to.
Throw a little Wolverine in there, a little Iron Man.
I
and these
Captain
people had
America and nothing to
with the
do with it. And
story. Like nothing.
So I don't know. All I know, like I have like I still have my card collection, my comic book card collection, right? And I don't know if y'all remember. I think it was 92, 93 or something like that. They did the big card full team thing where each card was a different person, but if you put them all together, it like made a picture. The Midnight Suns had like Morbius. It had Ghost Rider. It had Blade. It had, who else was it? It was another spirit. It was like another spirit guy. But yeah, it didn't seem like it's not one of those, hey, let's get Iron Man in here. Let's get Captain America in here.
Yeah.
No, it's not one of those. It's like, I'll give you Doctor Strange, right? But like, you gonna say, yeah, Iron Man with the Midnight Suns. The only reason Iron Man is there is so people can look at the game. The only reason Captain America is there is so people can look at the game.
That's what I felt when I
Vengeance,
saw
it is
the
Swole
initial
Bad Guy.
trailer.
His name was Vengeance. Thank you, Swole Bad Guy. You sure right. You sure right. And Vengeance is not even in the game. I don't think Vengeance is in the game at all. Like, I don't think there's any mention of that character in the in the actual game that they had coming out. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Ben. Go ahead.
Oh no, Tech was saying something.
Oh, my bad. Tech, excuse me.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's all good. It's all good.
It's a thing of the past.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, man, I was only prepared to talk about what's the name about this season finale. But I'm glad you guys did tune in. If y'all have something y'all want to, I mean, we got time. If you got something you want to discuss, right now is the time. Whether it be comic books, video games, y'all got the floor. If not, I can try to fucking play BioShock again because the PC version just keeps deleting my damn save file, and that's never happened to me before. So I'm all flustered right now. I'm like, am I supposed to be this mad that this game won't let me beat it? Is this what typically happens? But
Hey man, it's the internet. You can probably download a save file.
that's what somebody else was telling me. That's definitely what somebody else was telling me. Shout outs to the first Black Ginger telling me he's a taste bud coming back to the club. 6 months, I see you, Brody. I see you.
I mean, I could talk for hours, but I probably should go work on my house.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
You just
and
moved in.
I literally feel like we've talked about everything comic book. Like we've talked about movies, shows, video games, actual comics.
Yeah, we've definitely touched it all. We've definitely
I
touched
think we've
it
got
all.
all the subjects covered.
Well, I don't know when the next time we're gonna be able to have this discussion. We got movies coming out, so once
Hawkeye coming up
Hawkeye, but that's December, right?
November.
Really? Oh snap!
I think
Is it?
November. No, let me wait until it's November 24th.
Wow. Oh, so we ain't got that long.
We got a month and change.
We
Okay.
got some time off.
Okay, we got some time off. Well, with that being said, yo, you already know this. Wait. Before I just saw this.
When's
Be a
the
boy,
Eternals?
Drew. It comes out November. What is it? Damn, what is it? It's November for sure.
4th.
November 5th. Well,
Yeah.
5th, but like 5th is the Friday, but it'll be in theaters on the 4th.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it the 4th, so it don't even matter, bro. I'm definitely
So we'll do an
watching this
Eternal
bad
show.
boy. We're
Yeah.
definitely doing an Eternal show. Well, gentlemen, do me a favor, yo, taste buds. Make sure you follow Tech Supreme. Make sure you follow SketchSawyer right now. These are the homies. They always hold us down when it comes to the conversation, and generally,
Man, we hold you up.
right?
And you hold
That's
us
facts.
up.
That's facts. That's facts. Stilts over here. We're stilts over here. Can y'all make some noise in the chat for Sketch Sawyer, Tech Supreme, man? Two of the homies coming through. Always willing to talk the good word of comic books. And thanks for sharing that sketch with us, Ben.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
for
dude.
sure.
I'm-
Yeah, maybe that'll be the show sketch, so I'll leave it alone till the next show.
Ben. Oh,
No,
damn.
I gotta get it out there. I'll get it out there, but I'll share it to y'all when I'm done.
You know what? We need to talk about that, Ben. I think that's a really cool thing to do, man. We can have like a talk where we talk about comics, and we can set it up to where we can. I don't know if y'all down. We can all have cameras, and you can legit be sketching while we have this discussion. I could probably try to set something up.
I'll just screen share.
And
You can screen share in Discord, and you can throw that up on the thing.
That's fucking perfect. I love when a plan comes together.
Sweet. So the next show will be live drawing Eternals talk.
And I'm gonna try to go a little detailed into it too. I'm gonna try to make something cool happen. I'm gonna try to make it so we got a whole little menu and everything. I'm definitely finna go into this. That's
Sponsored
a damn
by
good
Intel
idea.
and Mountain Dew.
Sponsored by Intel Mountain Dew. Get yourself a Crunch Wrap Supreme at Taco Bell. Boom. Yeah, man. Like I was saying, all right, y'all. Well, look, man. Be well. Yo, congratulations on the new place. Hopefully it works out. And
me too.
I was about to say, hopefully the unpacking
Hopefully
works
you can
out.
live there.
Right? Hopefully you live there. Turns out there's people living in the basement. No, well, take care, bro. We'll be in contact soon, y'all.
Thank you, Taste Buds. Thank you, Steve.
Yo, peace.
Peace, everybody.
Damn, I love talking to the homies, bro.